The greatest power you possess isn't found in your circumstances, your bank account, or your connections. It's locked within the 6 inches between your ears, your mind. Today, I wish to speak to you about a truth that transformed my life and has transformed the lives of millions. A truth so profound yet so simple that most people overlook it entirely. What if I told you that everything you have ever achieved and everything you have failed to achieve began with a single thought? What if the difference between the life you're living now and the life you dream of living is simply a matter of how you direct your thoughts? This isn't empty philosophy. This is the practical wisdom I uncovered through studying 500 of the world's most successful individuals for over 20 years, men and women who built empires, transformed industries, and accumulated more wealth than most could imagine. And what was their secret? What did I discover after 2 decades of research? That success begins with a thought, that wealth begins with a belief, that achievement begins with a decision. But here's what most people miss. This power isn't automatic. It's a power that must be harnessed, directed, and applied with disciplined precision. In the next minutes, I'm going to share with you the master keys that unlock this power, principles that have created more millionaires, more success stories, and more transformed lives than perhaps any other set of ideas in history. Pay close attention, because what you're about to hear isn't just information. It's a blueprint for transformation. The starting point of all achievement is desire. Look around you at the most successful individuals in any field. What separates them from the masses isn't talent alone. It isn't luck. It isn't even hard work, though that plays a critical role. What separates them is the burning, unrelenting desire focused on a single definite purpose. Most people drift through life without any clear direction. They wake up each morning without a compelling reason to push beyond comfort. They work jobs they tolerate rather than pursuing work they love. They set vague goals like, I want to be successful, or I want to be happy, without defining what success or happiness means to them specifically. This lack of definiteness is the primary reason for failure. When I ask people what they want, they often give me nebulous answers. I want financial freedom. I want a better life. But when I press them, what specifically do you want? By when? How will you measure it? They struggle to answer. Contrast this with those who achieve extraordinary success. They don't just want success. They have a clear, specific vision of what they want to achieve. They don't just want wealth. They have a definite financial goal with a deadline attached to it. This definiteness of purpose acts like a magnet, pulling you toward your goals and pulling the necessary resources toward you. Think about it. When you know exactly where you're going, you recognize opportunities that others miss. You find creative solutions to problems that would stop others in their tracks. You develop the courage to take risks that the uncertain would avoid. Right now, I want you to ask yourself, what do you truly want? Not what should you want, not what others expect you to want. What do you, in the depths of your soul, truly desire to achieve? And don't just answer with vague generalities. Be definite. Be specific. If it's wealth you seek, what amount? By when? For what purpose? If it's influence, in what arena? To what end? If it's mastery, in what field? To what degree? The moment you can answer these questions with crystal clarity is the moment you set forces in motion that will transform your life. Remember, a goal that is clear and compelling becomes a magnet for achievement. The mind has a peculiar quality that few truly understand. It will work tirelessly to turn into physical reality whatever dominates your thoughts. In other words, you become what you think about most. This isn't mystical nonsense. It's practical psychology. Your beliefs shape your expectations. Your expectations influence your actions. Your actions determine your results. The most successful individuals I've studied aren't necessarily the most talented, the most educated, or the most privileged. They are those with an unshakable belief in their ability to succeed. This self-belief is the foundation upon which all achievement is built. Consider the young athlete who visualizes Olympic gold years before standing on the podium. Consider the entrepreneur who sees their product changing lives while it's still just an idea. Consider the artist who believes in their vision, even when critics dismiss it. Their belief isn't just positive thinking. It's a driving force that shapes reality. But here's what most people don't realize. Belief isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you cultivate deliberately. The mind works on evidence. If you've failed repeatedly in the past, your mind has evidence that you'll fail again. This creates doubt, and doubt kills achievement before it begins. The key is to give your mind new evidence. Start small. Set achievable goals that stretch you slightly, then achieve them consistently. Each small win reprograms your belief system. Each achievement provides evidence that you are capable of success. Simultaneously, immerse yourself in the right influences, the books you read, the people you associate with, the conversations you engage in. All of these either reinforce limiting beliefs or build empowering ones. Surround yourself with success. Study it. Absorb it. Let it infuse your thinking until your belief in your own potential becomes unshakable. And perhaps most importantly, watch yourself talk. The conversations you have with yourself shape your beliefs more powerfully than any external influence. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't afford that," replace it with, "How can I afford that?" When you think, "That's impossible for someone like me," replace it with, "How can I make that possible?" When you say, "I'm not good at this," rephrase it to, "I'm getting better at this every day." These aren't just semantic games. They fundamentally reshape how your brain processes reality and what it believes is possible for you. Remember my words. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But first, you must believe. No one achieves greatness alone. One of the most powerful principles I discovered through my research was that of the mastermind, the coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people working toward a definite purpose in a spirit of harmony. This principle operates on two levels. First, the economic advantage. When you combine the knowledge, connections, and resources of multiple minds focused on a shared goal, you create an asset far greater than the sum of its parts. Second, the psychic advantage. When minds come together in harmony, they generate a form of energy that individual minds cannot access alone. Ideas flow more freely. Solutions emerge more readily. Motivation and inspiration are heightened. Look at any great achievement in history, and you'll find a mastermind alliance behind it. Ford didn't build his automobile empire alone. Edison didn't invent the light bulb in isolation. Jobs didn't create Apple without key partnerships. Yet most people try to succeed solely through their own effort. They guard their ideas jealously. They resist asking for help. They try to learn everything themselves rather than leveraging the knowledge of others. This is the slow, difficult path to achievement, if achievement comes at all. The faster route is to intentionally create your own mastermind alliance. Surround yourself with people who complement your weaknesses with their strengths, challenge your thinking with diverse perspectives, hold you accountable to your highest standards. Share your vision, but bring different skills to its achievement. How do you build such an alliance? It begins with clarity about what you bring to the table. No valuable mastermind is one-sided. You must offer value to attract value. Then, identify the specific types of knowledge, skills, and connections you need to achieve your definite purpose. Seek out those who possess what you lack. But here's the crucial point. The mastermind requires harmony. It's not enough to gather intelligent or skilled individuals. There must be mutual respect, shared values, and genuine goodwill. Discord poisons the mastermind environment and neutralizes its power. Cultivate your alliance carefully. Meet regularly with a clear agenda. Be willing to both give and receive. And always maintain an attitude of gratitude for the multiplied power that comes through this principle. The mastermind principle alone has created more wealth, more innovation, and more achievement than perhaps any other single idea I have discovered. Harness it, and you harness the power of multiple minds working as one. Now let me talk about something that separates the achievers from the dreamers: persistent, consistent action. Ideas are worthless without execution. Dreams remain dreams unless acted upon. Knowledge becomes power only when applied. The world is filled with people who know what to do, but fail to do what they know. They read books, attend seminars, collect information, but never translate that knowledge into results through sustained action. In my research, I found that persistence was the one quality possessed by every single successful person I studied. Not persistence based on wishful thinking, but persistence fueled by a definite purpose and a burning desire. This persistence must be intelligent. It's not about blindly beating your head against a wall. It's about staying committed to your end goal while remaining flexible about the means to achieve it. When you face obstacles, and you will face obstacles, persistence means finding a way over, under, around, or through. It means learning from failure rather than being defeated by it. The average person quits at the first sign of difficulty. The achiever persists through the 5th, the 10th, or the 100th difficulty. Often the greatest successes come just after the point where most would quit. Consider this. Nearly every overnight success story you've heard took years or decades of persistent effort before the overnight part happened. It took Thomas Edison, a dear friend of mine, 10,000 attempts to invent the light bulb. It took Colonel Sanders 1 to 9 rejections before someone accepted his chicken recipe. The difference between these individuals and the masses isn't ability, it's persistence. And persistence isn't just about pushing through failure. It's also about consistent daily action toward your goals. Small actions taken consistently over time create massive results. Writing 1 page a day produces a 365-page book in a year. Saving a small amount daily creates financial freedom over time. Improving your skills by just 1% each day leads to exponential growth. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a day and underestimate what they can achieve in a year of consistent effort. The key is to establish systems and habits that make this consistency automatic. Don't rely on motivation or willpower. These are finite resources that deplete quickly. Instead, build routines and environments that make the right actions inevitable. When persistence becomes your character rather than your occasional choice, success becomes not a matter of if, but when. There is a specific formula for turning desires into their physical equivalent. This formula isn't speculation or theory. It's a proven process that has created fortunes and achievements across every field. Step 1. Define exactly what you want. Not vague notions, but specific measurable outcomes with deadlines attached. Step 2. Determine exactly what you will give in return. There is no something for nothing in the universe. The price must be paid in advance. Step 3. Establish a definite date for the achievement of your desire. Step 4. Create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether ready or not, to put this plan into action. Step 5. Write out a clear, concise statement of the desire, the time limit for its attainment, what you intend to give in return, and your plan for achieving it. Step 6. Read your written statement aloud, twice daily, once before sleeping and once after waking. as you read, see, feel, and believe yourself already in possession of your desire. This may sound formulaic, and it is. But formulas work when followed precisely. This particular formula aligns your conscious desires, your subconscious mind, and your daily actions toward a single purpose. The magic happens when these three forces, conscious thought, subconscious belief, and physical action, work in harmony rather than in conflict. Most people fail because these forces pull in different directions. Their conscious mind wants success, but their subconscious harbors doubts. They set goals but take inconsistent action. They desire wealth, but subconsciously believe money is scarce, or that wealth is for others. My 6-step formula aligns these forces. The clear written statement programs the conscious mind. Reading it aloud with emotion conditions the subconscious. The definite plan channels your physical actions. When these three aspects of your being work together, you create an unstoppable force. Apply this formula to any worthy goal, and watch as invisible forces begin working on your behalf. Opportunities appear that you hadn't noticed before. People come into your life who can help you. Ideas emerge at precisely the right moment. This isn't mystical. It's the practical application of universal law. When you define what you want with clarity, commit to it completely, and take persistent action toward it, you harness forces greater than yourself. One of the most misunderstood aspects of achievement is the role of failure. Most people fear failure, avoid failure, and interpret failure as evidence of their limitations. But I have discovered a profound truth. Failure is not merely an event to be tolerated. It's a necessity to be embraced. Every failure contains the seed of an equivalent or greater success if you have the wisdom to find it. Thomas Edison's 10,000 failures in creating the light bulb weren't really failures at all. They were 10,000 discoveries of what didn't work, each bringing him one step closer to what would work. When you reframe failure this way, it loses its sting. It becomes not a judgment of your worth, but data for your journey. This is temporary defeat, not permanent failure, and temporary defeat is a necessary stepping stone to any worthy achievement. The quality that allows you to extract value from failure is what I call applied faith. The ability to maintain belief in your ultimate success, even when current evidence suggests otherwise. This isn't blind optimism. It's a practical understanding that success rarely follows a straight line. It zigzags through failure, learning, adjustment, and renewed effort. The achiever doesn't just accept this reality. They expect it. They build it into their plans. They maintain reserves of resources, energy, and confidence to weather the inevitable storms. And perhaps most importantly, they develop the habit of finding opportunity within adversity. When markets crash, where others see only disaster, they look for undervalued assets. When they lose a client, where others see rejection, they seek the lesson that will help them secure 10 new clients. When their business fails, where others see the end, they see the painful but necessary education that will fuel their next, more successful venture. This ability to transform adversity into advantage is what separates those who succeed once from those who succeed repeatedly over a lifetime. It requires emotional mastery. It requires intellectual flexibility. It requires unwavering faith in your ability to turn setbacks into comebacks. But most of all, it requires understanding that failure is not your enemy. Properly used, it's the ally that tempers your character, refines your approach, and ultimately ensures your success. Now let me talk about something that kills more dreams than failure ever could: fear. Fear is the silent dream killer. It masquerades as prudence, as realism, as common sense. But beneath these disguises, it's the force that keeps people trapped in lives of quiet desperation. The 6 basic fears that hold most people back are the fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. Of these, the first two, fear of poverty and fear of criticism, cause the most damage to achievement. Fear of poverty keeps people in jobs they hate, relationships that diminish them, and financial situations that slowly drain their spirit. Fear of criticism keeps people from expressing their true selves, pursuing unusual ideas, or standing out from the crowd. Together, these fears create a life of safety without fulfillment, security without growth, existence without aliveness. But here's what separates the achiever from the average. The achiever feels these fears just like everyone else. The difference is that they act despite their fears, while the average person is paralyzed by them. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite fear. And the remarkable thing about fear is that it diminishes through action. When you consistently do what you fear, the fear loses its grip on you. What once seemed terrifying becomes merely uncomfortable. What was uncomfortable becomes routine. The key to overcoming fear is twofold. First, bring it into the light. Name your fears specifically. What exactly are you afraid might happen? When you articulate your fears precisely, they often shrink from monsters to manageable concerns. Second, take small, consistent actions that directly confront those fears. If you fear public speaking, speak publicly in progressively larger settings. If you fear rejection, deliberately put yourself in situations where rejection is possible but not devastating. This gradual expansion of your comfort zone builds the habit of courage, the ability to feel fear but act anyway. And once you develop this habit, you gain access to opportunities, experiences, and achievements that the fearful never reach. Fear is the tax you pay on an unlived life. Courage is choosing to live fully, despite that tax. The next principle is one that most people completely misunderstand: the principle of organized knowledge. Most people believe that knowledge is power. It isn't. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes actual power only when organized into definite plans and expressed through action. The world is filled with highly educated failures, people who have accumulated vast amounts of knowledge but never learned to apply it effectively. True education isn't about accumulating information. It's about developing the ability to extract what's useful from information and apply it to achieve definite purposes. Consider this. The most financially successful individuals in the world rarely have the highest academic credentials. They have something more valuable: the ability to organize knowledge from multiple sources and apply it precisely where it will create the most value. They understand that specialized knowledge is the basis of all achievement in a world of increasing complexity. No one can know everything, but anyone can acquire the specific knowledge needed to excel in their chosen field. This specialization creates value in the marketplace. When you know something useful that most don't know, or can do something valuable that most can't do, you create leverage that translates into opportunity. But specialized knowledge alone isn't enough. You must organize it into plans, systems, and procedures that translate that knowledge into results. This organization requires three things. First, the ability to distinguish between relevant and irrelevant information. Most knowledge available to you isn't useful for your specific purposes. The achiever filters ruthlessly, focusing only on what advances their definite purpose. Second, the capacity to synthesize information from multiple sources. Breakthrough achievements rarely come from a single field of knowledge. They emerge at the intersection of ideas from different disciplines. Third, the skill to translate knowledge into specific plans of action. Knowledge without application remains theoretical. Plans convert it into practical power. The good news is that you don't need to possess all knowledge personally. Through the mastermind principle, you can access knowledge stored in other minds. Through technologies and systems, you can leverage knowledge without personally mastering it all. The key is knowing what knowledge you need, where to find it, how to organize it, and how to apply it toward your definite purpose. When you master this principle, you never lack for power to achieve your goals. Your imagination is the workshop where all plans are created. It's the most powerful faculty you possess, the ability to combine existing knowledge into new forms that never existed before. There are two types of imagination: synthetic and creative. Synthetic imagination arranges old concepts, ideas, and plans into new combinations. This is the most common form, and it's extremely useful. Most innovations begin here, with the recombination of existing elements into new patterns. Creative imagination is where hunches, intuition, and new ideas emerge. It's the faculty through which flashes of insight and eureka moments come. This form of imagination connects to infinite intelligence, the boundless source of all ideas. Both forms are essential to achievement. Synthetic imagination helps you build on what's known. Creative imagination helps you venture into the unknown. The tragedy is that most people never develop either form. They consume endlessly but create rarely. They absorb information but never transform it into original expression. They take but never give back. The achiever, by contrast, exercises imagination daily. They ask what-if questions. They combine diverse influences. They regularly contemplate problems that need solving and opportunities that could be seized. When facing challenges, they ask, "How can this be done?" rather than stating, "It can't be done." When seeing needs, they ask, "How could this be improved?" rather than accepting, "This is just how it is." When confronting limitations, they ask, "What if there were a way around this?" rather than concluding, "This is impossible." This habit of creative questioning activates the imagination and sets it to work finding solutions. But imagination requires input. Feed your mind with diverse knowledge, experiences, and perspectives. Read widely, not just in your field. Expose yourself to art, nature, different cultures, and varied viewpoints. The richer your mental library, the more materials your imagination has to work with. And most importantly, capture the output of your imagination. Write down your ideas, no matter how undeveloped. Sketch your visions, no matter how rough. Record your insights, no matter how fragmented. These captured thoughts become the raw material for your synthetic imagination to refine into practical plans. Remember, every human-made object around you began as someone's imagination. The chair you're sitting on, the device you're using, the building sheltering you, all started as mere thought before becoming reality. Your imagination is the factory where your future is created. Use it deliberately, feed it generously, capture its output faithfully, and it will manufacture achievements beyond your current conception. Now let me discuss something so fundamental that most people overlook it entirely: the power of decisions. Everything in your life, your career, your relationships, your health, your financial situation, is the result of decisions you've made or failed to make. Yet most people make decisions haphazardly, based on momentary emotions or external pressures. They drift into major life choices without clear purpose. They delay crucial decisions through fear or indecision. They reverse good decisions before giving them time to bear fruit. In my research, I discovered that all successful individuals share the habit of making decisions promptly and changing them slowly, if at all. The unsuccessful, by contrast, make decisions slowly and change them frequently. This difference is profound. When you develop the habit of decisive action, you gain tremendous momentum. You spend your energy moving forward rather than deliberating endlessly. You learn through action rather than analysis paralysis. The speed of your decisions matters because opportunities rarely linger. Markets change. Timing windows close. Others seize what you hesitate to grasp. But the firmness of your decisions matters even more. Most achievements require persistent effort toward a fixed goal. When you change direction with every setback or new option, you never build the momentum necessary for significant success. How do you develop this habit of decisive action? First, clarify your values and purpose. When you know what matters most to you, decisions become clearer. They're guided by principles rather than impulses. Second, gather relevant information, but avoid the trap of endless research. Set time limits for your information gathering. Remember that you'll never have all the information. Decisions always involve some uncertainty. Third, trust your intuition. Your subconscious mind processes information your conscious mind hasn't recognized. That gut feeling is often your accumulated wisdom speaking to you. Fourth, make the decision, then commit fully. Don't keep one foot on the dock and one in the boat. Once decided, put your full energy behind your choice. Fifth, maintain your decision through the inevitable doubts and difficulties that follow. Expect these challenges and prepare for them mentally. They don't mean your decision was wrong. They're simply the testing ground that separates the committed from the merely interested. The quality of your life is directly proportional to the quality of your decisions. Master this habit, and you master your destiny. Every achievement requires energy, physical, mental, and emotional. How you manage this energy determines what you can accomplish and how quickly you can achieve it. Most people never realize their potential because they leak energy through 5 critical drains: negative emotions, scattered focus, poor health habits, toxic relationships, and misaligned values. Negative emotions, fear, worry, doubt, anger, resentment, consume enormous energy without producing anything of value. They're like running your car engine in park, lots of fuel burned, no distance covered. The achiever practices emotional discipline. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather directing them productively. They transform fear into preparation, anger into determination, and doubt into investigation. Scattered focus is the second major energy drain, the mind that flits from task to task, constantly interrupted by notifications and new inputs, never develops the momentum necessary for significant achievement. The achiever cultivates the habit of concentrated attention, the ability to focus wholly on one important task until completed. They create environments that support this focus and eliminate distractions that fragment it. Poor health habits undermine everything else. Insufficient sleep, inadequate nutrition, lack of physical activity, and excessive stress all diminish your energy and cloud your thinking. The achiever treats their body as the foundation of their success. They understand that physical energy underlies all other forms of energy. They establish routines that enhance vitality rather than depleting it. Toxic relationships may be the most debilitating energy drain of all. People who criticize, complain, and discourage require constant emotional management. Every interaction leaves you diminished rather than energized. The achiever carefully curates their social environment. They seek relationships that elevate, inspire, and support their growth. They minimize exposure to those who deplete their energy and enthusiasm. Misaligned values create constant internal conflict. When your actions contradict your core beliefs, you waste energy on inner arguments and justifications. You feel fragmented rather than integrated. The achiever aligns their daily activities with their deepest values. This alignment creates a sense of integrity and purpose that multiplies energy rather than consuming it. When you plug these 5 energy leaks, you'll be astonished at what you can accomplish. Projects that once seemed overwhelming become manageable. Goals that appeared distant come within reach. Achievement accelerates naturally when your full energy flows toward your definite purpose. The principle of autosuggestion is perhaps the most powerful yet least understood of all success principles. It's the method by which you communicate directly with your subconscious mind, Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between real experiences and vividly imagined ones. It accepts whatever your conscious mind feeds it repeatedly, especially when those thoughts are charged with emotion. This is why merely thinking positive thoughts occasionally has little effect, while deeply feeling and visualizing desired outcomes regularly creates profound change. The achiever uses this principle deliberately, understanding that the subconscious acts on the predominant thoughts held in consciousness. They feed their mind with clear, specific images of their desired outcomes, strengthened by emotion and repetition. This isn't magical thinking. It's psychological programming. When you repeatedly impress specific thoughts upon your subconscious, you create neural pathways that begin to shape your perceptions, decisions, and actions. You notice opportunities you would have missed before. You feel drawn to actions that support your goals. You develop insights and ideas that move you forward. Your entire being aligns with your consciously chosen direction. The method is simple but requires discipline. First, create clear written statements of what you desire to achieve, phrased as if already accomplished and including a time frame. I am earning $100,000 annually through my business by December 31st is more effective than I want to make more money someday. Second, read these statements aloud to yourself twice daily, upon waking and before sleeping, when your subconscious is most receptive. Third, as you read, visualize and feel yourself already possessing what you desire. Engage all your senses in this mental rehearsal. Fourth, maintain faith that what you're implanting in your subconscious is gradually becoming your reality, even when current circumstances show no evidence yet. This practice isn't a substitute for action. It's the foundation that makes your actions more effective. It aligns your subconscious resources with your conscious goals, creating an internal partnership rather than an internal conflict. Most people's subconscious works against them because they've inadvertently programmed it with limiting beliefs, random inputs, and negative expectations. The achiever reprograms deliberately, installing only what supports their highest aims. Remember, your mind is the one thing over which you have complete control. Exercise this control wisely, and you initiate the process of transforming thought into its physical equivalent. Going the extra mile is the action of rendering more and better service than what you're paid for. It's the habit of doing more than the minimum, exceeding expectations rather than merely meeting them. This principle creates success through a paradox. By focusing first on giving rather than getting, you ultimately receive far more than those who focus primarily on what they can get. There are multiple reasons why this principle works with almost mathematical certainty. First, it eliminates competition. Most people do only what's required or expected. When you willingly do more, you stand out immediately. You become the obvious choice in any selection process. Second, it develops skills and capabilities beyond the ordinary. The person who does only what's required never grows beyond their current capacity. The extra miler constantly expands their abilities through voluntary effort. Third, it attracts attention from those who can accelerate your progress. Leaders and decision-makers notice those who exceed expectations. This attention leads to opportunities that others never receive. Fourth, it builds the habit of excellence. When you consistently go beyond requirements in small matters, extraordinary performance becomes your standard rather than your exception. Fifth, it creates a reputation that precedes you. Word spreads about those who deliver more than expected. This reputation opens doors that remain closed to the merely adequate. Sixth, it generates gratitude and goodwill. People naturally want to reciprocate when they receive more than they anticipated. This reciprocation often comes in forms far more valuable than the extra effort you invested. The application of this principle requires initiative. the rare quality of doing what needs to be done without being told to do it. In every field, in every position, there are opportunities to exceed expectations. The employee who solves problems beyond their job description, the business that provides unexpected value beyond the purchase, the professional who continues their education far beyond requirements, the service provider who follows up after the work is complete. The leader who serves those they lead rather than just directing them. This habit must become automatic rather than occasional. The benefits don't come from sporadic extra effort, but from a consistent pattern that becomes associated with your name and reputation. And perhaps most importantly, this principle must be applied without expectation of immediate return. The rewards come, but rarely in the manner or time frame you might anticipate. Go the extra mile not as a strategy for gain, but as an expression of excellence. The gains will follow naturally. The final principle I want to share with you today is so essential that without it, all other principles fail to produce their potential results. It's what I call pleasing personality. This isn't about being superficially charming or manipulatively agreeable. It's about developing a character that others naturally want to support and associate with. All achievement requires cooperation from others. Even the most self-reliant entrepreneur needs customers, suppliers, employees, and allies. The most brilliant idea remains unrealized without others to support, implement, and spread it. Your personality, how you interact with others, determines the quantity and quality of cooperation you receive. The elements of a pleasing personality include flexibility of thought rather than rigid opinions, tolerance of differences rather than judgment, harmony in voice and manner rather than discord, fairness in all dealings rather than self-interest, courtesy and respect toward all rather than selective civility, attention to others' interests rather than self-absorption, expression of gratitude rather than entitlement, optimism rather than pessimism, empathy rather than indifference. These qualities aren't superficial tactics. They're expressions of character. They must be genuine to be effective. You must understand that how you make others feel determines how eagerly they assist your endeavors. People rarely cooperate enthusiastically with those who diminish, disregard, or disrespect them, regardless of potential rewards. Developing this aspect of success requires honest self-assessment. Ask yourself, do people seem energized or drained after interacting with me? Do my relationships tend to strengthen over time or deteriorate? Do others seek my company or merely tolerate it? Do people share their genuine thoughts with me or only what they think I want to hear? Do my interactions create harmony or discord? If you find your personality lacking in any dimension, focus first on your thinking. Thoughts precede behavior. Cultivate genuine interest in others, appreciation for differences, and the desire to create value in every interaction. Then develop the habit of expressing these internal attitudes through your words, tone, body language, and actions. A pleasing personality doesn't mean being passive or suppressing your authentic self. It means expressing your authentic self in ways that respect and value others. It's strength combined with consideration, conviction paired with openness. When you master this principle, you transform potential obstacles into allies and indifferent contacts into enthusiastic supporters. I have given you the principles that I've found to be at the heart of all achievement. They are not mere theories or speculation, but proven formulas distilled from studying hundreds of successful lives. The question now is not whether these principles work. Their efficacy has been demonstrated countless times across generations. The question is whether you will work these principles. Knowledge without application remains dormant. Wisdom without action bears no fruit. Principles understood but not practiced create no change. I challenge you to take what you've heard today and begin applying it immediately. Choose even one principle, apply it consistently for 30 days, and watch as your life begins to transform. The difference between where you are and where you could be is simply a matter of understanding and applying these timeless laws of success. I've shared them with you today not merely to inform, but to empower. The responsibility now rests with you. The principles are waiting to be harnessed. The potential within you is waiting to be unleashed. Will you seize this opportunity? Will you apply these principles with discipline and persistence? The choice is yours. The time is now. The possibility is limitless. Thank you for your attention. Now go forth and transform thought into achievement, possibility into reality, and potential into power.